Okay, I'm back and talk about investing, and then in the next video I'll talk about the Roth. I had a video, but it was really long. I went off on a tangent, so I got to start over. All right, so investing. I decided to go with Vanguard and open up an account with them. I can tell you it takes about a month. What took me about a month. So hopefully I could get you to get it to be done faster. Okay. You go online, you can set them up. You got to have all kinds of information, Social Security, all this stuff like that, whatever. Okay. But you also have to have a checking or a savings account associated with it. And I chose a checking account because if you're going to put money into it, it's got to come from somewhere, right? Okay. So I go through all that and I get this account set up, gives me a number and everything else like that. Pretty decent website. So I throw $100 into it. Yeah, whatever. Let's try this. This was back in the 2020. Stocks were dropping. It's like, oh yeah, buy low, sell high. Okay, whatever. And then go to buy something, and you have no money. What do you mean I have no money? I just put $100 into this holding account here. Well, error comes up and says, well, the government's got some rules on that, and it has to do with fraud and stuff like that. It has to sit there for 10 days. I mean, basically, they have to prove that there is money. It's not, you're just not transferring it digitally, and there is actually money there. And you got to worry about money laundering. So you got to wait 10 days. And I'm like, well, in 10 days, stock can go back up. Well, then I learned that to get around that, you put in an automatic transfer. So every 2 weeks, I would just automatically transfer $100 into that holding account. Once that's set up and works, then you can go ahead and use it. You don't have to have that 2 week waiting period. Oh, that's cool. So to getting into stocks, and this leads up to what I did with the Roth. Now, I'll explain it to you. What are you gonna invest in? What do you want to invest in? You want to invest in companies that you like? Well, no. You want to invest in something that's going to make you money. You don't want to invest in some company that's going to save the dolphins, because why? If you want to save the dolphins, write a check and send it to them. All right? They're not going to make any money. You're in the stock market to make money. It's simple as that. Now, you want to stay away from companies that don't hand out a dividend, because the only way you're going to make money off of those companies is if the stock price goes up, appreciable enough to make you money. Okay? Like Amazon has no dividends. Tesla, Nvidia, when Nvidia was going up and up and up, everybody's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing. Well, they handed out like 7 cents a year. What are you going to do with 7 cents? The stock costs $800. No, you want the dividends so you can reinvest. Okay? So, got some stock. I learned really early on that kind of what I want to invest in. I don't want to invest in like a retail business. Look what happened to Sears. Now Kohl's is going out of business. I don't want to invest in Walmart or Cub or anything like that, or Amazon, Costco. No, because that's retail. It goes up and down depending upon consumer demand. And then you might want to think about investing in something else. But then I started realizing, well, if you look at Rockefeller, what did he do? Well, it was oil. Okay, but if you look at oil, he basically got a lot of his money off of the transportation of oil. Okay, if you look at after they broke up Standard Oil, he actually got super richer, and he laughed about it. It's like, you guys don't even know what you're doing in the government, do you? No, they don't. So you got ExxonMobil, British Petroleum, they suck the oil out, right? Okay, but they don't transport it to the refinery or the cracking plant or to the gas station. Pipelines. There are companies that own pipelines, and that's how the oil is transferred, okay? Well, the barrel of oil is, say, $100 cost of the market. Well, they're going to charge you $10 a barrel, say for instance, to pass it through the pipeline. It doesn't matter what the cost of the oil is. You're going to pay $10 a barrel. That's how they're making their money. Those are the ones that are going to make money. You got to look at the middlemen, like trucking companies. They're kind of in flux right now, but then shipping companies too. Anybody that's shipping product and it's not based on the value of the product, you want to look at those. All right. So I went ahead and I just started investing. I got some stock. And then, of course, you realize the dividends. I mean, you take, like, say you buy stock for $10, it hands out 20 cents a year. Well, actually, they hand it out in quarters, 4 quarters to a year. So, 20 cents, you're going to get, what, a nickel every quarter. Well, that's not much. Well, you got to have a lot of stock in order to make it worthwhile. And how much stock do you need? So basically, you take, well, here, I can show you. So if you see here, the cost of one share divided by the dividend. And that'll equal the number of shares you need to buy 1 share per year. Okay. Now, another way of looking at it, cost of a share divided by the dividend price, the cost of the dividend, times 4, and that'd be number of shares to buy, so you get 1 share per quarter. Now, once you've achieved that, was I found out, you get a share every quarter, it just starts taking off. You can actually leave it. It's self-sustaining. And just go on to another stock. Do the same thing. Keep buying until you get to that point. Well, okay, so the first year, of course, get a little statement from Vanguard. That's what I started out with. And here's like $350. You need to pay taxes on this. What is that? That's the dividends. So even though I reinvested them, you got to pay taxes. All right. Well, yeah. Second year it jumped up to like $700. It was last year, now it was like $1,200. It's like, oh my God. But I'm earning money. But how do you get rid of paying on that? Well, that's what the Roth is for. Now, next video, we'll talk about that Roth.